Clive, good job recognizing. Make sure that when we have jump ball, before we go in as a referee, that we want everyone to be side by side. No one should have an advantage from the start. And that puts ourselves in a good position, because if that ball's tipped to that player and someone goes through the back, now we've got to call a foul. So that's why we don't allow them to line up behind each other. Clive, I think it's good patience early on that play, but now we want to catalog it. So we allowed 50 a little bit with some hands. Yeah, I'm on the mic. Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Wow. I did very well.
Riley, one thing that you can help out with is anytime that you give your mechanic, if you can do it all with one hand, so you got a good stop clock mechanic, but if you, the way you're facing right there, if you use your left hand and then you point the direction, see if you can do it all with one hand. It'll clean up your mechanics just a little bit. Good mechanics, Clive. Good job correcting yourself. Don't be too quick to give that whistle, but you did the right thing by giving the color first and then giving a direction, because it's a whole lot easier. Everyone hears what you say before what you do, so easy correction, but be smart, be smooth. Riley, excuse me, Chad, I want you to look at the difference between Clive's three-point mechanic and your three-point preliminary mechanic. Just look at the control, and not only that, but the confidence that's portrayed through the McCall. Yours is a little bit more lackadaisical, so be careful with those types of calls. You want to show aggression, you want to show control out while you're on the court. Chad, when you're at the lead and you're administering the free throws, this is your chance to shine. Everyone's going to look at it. This is your chance to be athletic. So if you take that, I want you to go step up further into the lane. Where that white line is for the volleyball line, you should be inside of that, and you should be giving that mechanic as loud as you can up and top. And then when you give the ball bounce to them, bounce it athletically. A one-handed or two-handed good, strong bounce pass to them shows athleticism, where you're kind of dainty, one-handed little swing pass. Chad, I want you to look at your mechanics on this play. When you go and report to your block, you do this kind of little dainty two-handed touch to your hip. Make sure that you give yourself or display confidence in it. So a stronger block play on that's going to help you out. Riley, that's a good call. I like that call, Riley. But I want you to look again at projection towards the table when you go to there. So 3, hand check. Make it loud, and you can probably even do it a little bit more with authoritative before you get to the table. It might help you project that a little bit further. So right now on this play, Riley, that's a good travel to pick up, but Clive is looking at you to try and figure out where the ball is getting put into play. So don't be too afraid to get the violation and then sprint down the court. Stop, violation, point to where it's going to be out of bounds, tell them, out of bounds, sideline. That'll help Clive out, and it'll also help the players get the ball back in quicker. Good mechanics. Riley, what I do like is that you've got 2 players on the floor and that you stay with them. You're not worried about which direction that you've got. You're worried about the players on the floor first. Clive, you do a nice job of figuring out what the possession arrow is, and that way when the players are on their feet ready to go, you can look to your partner, Clive, who's got the point and direction ready to go for you. So good job as a crew on those types of plays. Always address and keep eyes on players that are on the floor so that they don't do something silly. Watch our plays. Clive, I think that's a great call. It is correct call, and I do think it's 1. My question though is, Riley, what do you see on that play? Because that is your primary, that is your call. Clive calls that from the baseline on a play that is just outside or just inside of the 3-point mark. Riley, you want to have those plays and have a whistle on that as well. So I think on that field of vision, you have 2 competitive matchups, and you're so focused in on the ball that we do not see the screen play as well.
Oh, the rotation on the
10:30 mark. The score is 4-7. So we want to take a look at that play, 10-18, 10-20 mark. what I want to look at again is whether or not there is a prolonged dual possession on that play, whether we have a jump ball or whether we have a correct call on a travel play. So let's take a look at that. We'll break it down a little bit in the classroom. Watch off ball, 21-22. Chad, good call. When we talk about mechanics, first of all, you're doing a better job of getting it up in the window. However, an open hand, like slap foul on a mechanic for your hit play looks very, very weak. Try and close that fist and hammer it on top of your other arm, and that'll help your mechanic clean up a little bit more and look a little more assertive at the table. Good verticality play, good patience. So, great call. I like that you're active at the center officials. That's your call. That's your primary. You take it to the table. So, great work. Work from taking the foul to the table. And what I mean by that is you lose believability as you go to the table because you don't project strength as you go to the table. And then when you report the foul, while it's up in the box, which I know you're working on, your mechanic for your block is still very, very dainty. It's this kind of double tap on a hip. So we got to get you in front of the mirror and take a look at your mechanics. Hands, good call. Riley, good play. I like that we know our absolutes. Anytime that we have 2 points of contact on a ball handler, it's an automatic. Riley, when you give your mechanics, you have a tendency that your eyes follow the direction of your hand. So when you give your direction, we'll look at it on a tape, you give a direction, it goes the opposite way, your head goes that way too. Work on trying to keep your head focused so that if I call a direction, I still keep my eyes on the player. See, there we got another play, same thing, where your head has a tendency to follow your directional arrow, almost like you take your play, or you follow your head almost right to the wall. Your wall's not going to commit a foul, the players are. Let's look at your hold call a little bit. Again, if we've got a true hold, the hold that looks more like a hit mechanic sometimes looks a little bit smaller. So if you can bring that one up here and have more of a hit call that's up in the